shit, I'm streaming. Oh boy. Might as well do it again. It must be so confusing to me what you're asking me. Punch the card, let me through, I say, I owe you nothing. You won't wait for this magic to come. You won't stay anymore. All this time you will never surprise me anymore. Just close the door. Because I always get a song idea right before the damn thing starts. There's nothing I can do about it. Okay, I'll play a song and then I'll come in. I can see, although the future isn't free. I give in, you gave out, and this robot inside of my head, he's frightened. I watch these lines stretch out to 10, falling from the ice beneath your skin. You were happy then. I survived, you survived, we will all survive. I can feel, there's always moments you can't heal. I don't want to go on, this is vain, this is wrong, why are you still frightened? If you can hold me till the end, I will always call you friend. Just as the pain. I survive, you survive, we will all survive. When California falls in the ocean. And hello. Oh man. So welcome. First off, let me just get this out of the way because that was really cool. So Wendy says,
anyone else get Claude's last piece on scent? I never publish my stuff like that. But thank you, Wendy, for that, because I am on Scent.io and I do on occasion put some NFTs on there, and some of them are free, some of them are not. But I put a particularly weird one up the other day that I was going to mint on Object, but things got kind of, oh no, thank you. So, man, I have to find the link to it and post it so you can see it. But yeah, so hi everyone. JPK Knight says, Worth, come away. So I will take that as a request for the evening at some point. It's that kind of a night. I have a couple of ideas of some stuff I want to play. But of course, you know. Hi, Emilio. Hi, Wendy, of course, again. Jeff, Mai, Carlos, TMT Mixes, Scott. Thank you, by the way, Scott, for those coffees. I don't forget a thing. Thomas, Rita. No, I forget everything. Mariah, Austin, Konstantinos, Thomas, Starkorg. Hello from New York. That's awesome. Thank you. Joe, welcome, all of you, to another edition of Claude's just hanging out with you and doesn't know what else to effing do for the rest of this time. No, I'm kidding. I have some topics in mind, but honestly, this week I've been trying to finish the EP up, and my plosives are going crazy here. Let's see if we can fix that. I need a different pop filter. So as you can see, this is still my vocal mic for singing and recording, and not my podcasting mic, because even though I'm done with the mixes, and yes, I'm officially done with the 5 songs, I've mixed all of them, there are still some notes I have to go through just to make sure that I don't miss something and then regret it because all the settings change. So, again, I messed up the description yet again. Crapola. I don't know if I can do that while I'm actually here, but we're going to find out. Oh man, it's terrible. I did it again. This is the one thing I always keep forgetting to do. Well, it looks like I'm live. Maybe I can still do it. I'll do it when I play a song. How's that? Because right now it's looking pretty bad. So I'm going to play a quick song. Lasts about 1 minute and 20 seconds. So this should clear it. I should be able to change the darn description. I knew there was something I forgot. I knew it. You know when you know? Like, you know you're forgetting something? All right. We're going to try to do this while I'm still on the air. We'll see if it works. Just in case we have this fancy UFO cam thing going on. But 0826. As long as it says 26, I'm okay. And it's still in Spanish. Oh my God. Yep. Well, hopefully it's updating them as I go. And for some reason, we're not going to Facebook, which is funny. I don't see that it is, and that might not work. Oh well, I can't help that, so we're going to let that go. Although it says that there's some of you on Facebook. I don't know. Man. Talk about forgetting crap. Especially that stuff too, because it's kind of easy. I have it boiled down to a few things, which is change the screen so that obviously, like, if that comes on, it's correct. Thank God. So I fix all these things before I start. And usually I don't forget anything. but the description, for some reason, 2 weeks in a row, I forgot it. So I'm going to have to put up like quick reminders in front of the camera. Like, don't forget to do this because you're going to mess up. So hopefully it doesn't screw it up too much. Oh, man. Well, what are we going to do? So what I was going to do this week was I was going to try to do a live rehearsal. That's not going to happen because 2 reasons. One, wrong mic. I can't use this one for rehearsals. It'll pick up everything. It's already picking up everything. It's not meant to be used in this way. So I'm going to have to reschedule that one. I know the EP, there's no more recording to do. I have to kind of, share the room, as it were, with these things. So anyway, if you're just joining us, you can do that awesome thing by subscribing. See, my voice too. Subscribing and hitting the bell. Yeah, so the voice is a little raspy too, so I didn't feel like this was the good week to do a rehearsal. Plus, I've been so busy trying to finish this darn EP. But it's coming out good. It's coming out good. That's all I'm going to tell you. It's good. The last song was the most fun I've had mixing in a while, actually. And well, we'll talk about that in a minute. But I don't know if you can see it behind me. Maybe you can. Oh, hold on. I'll get out of the way. The bass guitar that's there is how I wrote this song that I'm going to play right now. And it wasn't even plugged in. So this is what I do about writing sessions. So if you're, wondering how I make off, with writing sessions. One, it seems to be happening a lot more on the stream now that as I'm waiting for 8 o'clock to roll around, I'm kind of bored. I've checked all the mics, forgotten the descriptions, of course. And then when I think I've got everything done, I'll put up Reactor and start playing something, and some idea will happen, which I've been liking this because at least I can go back to the streams and listen to the first bits of an idea and think maybe it's a song, maybe it's not a song. I don't know. But anyway, so it's been a bit on the experimental side this week, but we'll get into that in a minute. Feel free to post questions and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to play this song. It's only a 1-minute song, but it was written with the bass behind me with, I think it was just my stereo recorder on, and I decided I would just play this one tonight. So this is called Everything Is Not Free, and it's not. And I just fucked up, didn't I? Whoops. So I'm going to answer that question, Jose, in 2 seconds. Because I think you asked me earlier, So I started to think about the answer to that question. And so Joe on YouTube is asking me, what was the most expensive piece of hardware for making music that you've ever owned? Um, hmm, I think I answered really quick that it was the Emulator 3, which was a huge sampler. And although I got a good deal on it, that was an expensive piece of equipment. And my Korg T1, because I bought that new. So I think it was like $4,000, some crazy number. And I would say that the most expensive piece of equipment I ever bought had to be my mixing console, the one that I used to mix Hope on, which was a Tascam MX24 or something. And I think it was, I want to say it was 16,000. So that was the most expensive piece of gear I ever owned. And I used blood money to buy that way back in the day. Because, it's funny when you get, because this is a side story here, but when I got signed, they kept telling me, like, buy a fancy car, buy some crazy shit. And it was always the equipment that they didn't want me to buy. They didn't want me to have my own studio. So, of course, the first thing I did with the first bit of money that I got was I went out and bought myself a studio. So the studio itself, the grand total, I think, was 22,000. So between the board, the MPC, and the T3, everything, I think the total was around 20,000. That's what I remember. Somewhere I still have the receipts, which is funny. So, thank you, Wendy. You also got Portal 19. So what Wendy's talking about is this. I'm going to show you something funny. So I didn't talk about this one much because these two, so one of them was a freebie that you could collect on Cent. And the other one is this crazy, crazy thing that I did. And it's hard to see it there. So I would definitely go to the link and take a look at it because it's a little on the odd side. And affectionately, I used to call this one Industrial Wasteland. Affectionately. It's not its true title anymore, but it's pretty crazy. This is the one that I can't, for some reason, I can't make that window go up. It won't do it. But this is the one that has like bits of toilet paper, toilet rolls, wire, all kinds of crazy paint, like liquid rubber, all kinds of crap, like basically to put this together and photograph it. And I've got a couple of different iterations of it, but the other day I was going to mint this on Object, and then the last minute minted something else, which I'll show you later. But this one is an oddball. It's quite an oddball. And anyway, I'm glad someone found it. I hadn't spoken of it. I hadn't put any posts up about it. I hadn't even posted a link, which is sort of one of the topics for the evening, is how much of ourselves do we share as creators, and is it necessary? Like, how much of it is necessary? And that's a tough one, man, because I have a love-hate relationship with it. But I'm making this very clear. I have an only love relationship with all of you. Like, I love hanging out with you guys. I love talking to you. I love interacting with you online. So like that is actually my favorite part of social media. The other aspects of social media, like being bombarded by news that I don't want to see, or very crazy and divisive things aimed to make me mad. And because I'm empathic, it works. I can't say it doesn't work on me because it does. That stuff I wish I could do without. So it sometimes keeps me away from the things that I do like to do on social media, which is to hang out with you people and, talk to other artists and talk about techniques and, gear and, mixing and painting and, writing. All these things are things I love to do. But invariably, I go on social and it's like, there's a war going on. And I don't mean the literal wars that are going on, but the wars between people. And it's just like, it brings me down. So like this week, it was really hard to be on social and then come back to the studio and try to mix songs. And I think it had an influence on the mixing. And I don't mean like in a negative way per se, but I think it had an influence in that, I got a migraine out of it, which wasn't good. Which I think was a culmination of stress. But the other thing is, it kind of pulled me into a direction as to certain samples and things that were going to be on the final mixes. It pulled me into a certain direction. So I have to kind of reevaluate certain production things or production decisions that I made. So hopefully I don't mess up. But anyway. I digress. I'm going to go to the screen so I can see what you're talking about. Ooh, nice. Yeah. No, so it's between me and Wendy tonight. And I like it. So yes, there's only been 3. And there's only been 3 NFTs on Scent. For a while, Scent was competing for I was trying to make Scent my blog for the longest time. And instead I chose, Buy Me Coffee, which is fine. And that became my blog, but I still love Scent. And I want to do more things with them. So I'm plodding away. So don't worry. There's going to be tons of things to do there. Interesting. That's odd that it shows on OpenSea. That's so strange. It must be because someone must have put it on secondary. I don't know. That's an odd thing, the stuff that shows up on OpenSea. So I'm going to check that out later. But at any rate, so the news of the week for me on my side, my personal little emphasis on little corner of the world is that I'm done. I'm done mixing for the most part. The next stage of recording an EP, for those that are not studio nerds like me, is what I call post-production editing mastering phase. That's the whole phase, because this is where I start to kind of figure out what songs should be first, what should be second. Can there be a transition point between one song and another? And I'm still having plosives. It's driving me crazy. See if I can get a little farther from the mic. That might help. Hope that helps. So, yeah, so there's this, I don't know. So there's this aspect to editing and mastering that I kind of lump together, because in the old days, I would master certain pieces of a song, then I would master or I should say mix, the transition points, but I didn't have the software to put them together. So when I went to the mastering lab, it would be like, can you make this song fade out and fade this weird thing in? And then can you marry these two with just exactly 4 seconds or an exact 4-bar count before this next song comes in? And, these were like stupid notes I would have to make. Now, of course, I do that. That's part of the work that I'm doing in post-production and mastering. So first I master the entire thing as one piece of audio and kind of treat it like that. So that's the phase I'm going into. So today I was sampling I was going through some lists of samples I had to take that I had forgotten to grab that are necessary for these transition bits. So hi Steve. So I need to visit you soon, man. I need to go to Florida. And I have to tell you something. But that's off the record. But at any rate, so Jose's got another question. And I'm glad he's asking questions, because without the questions, I'm just going to babble. So I'm going to answer this question and then I'll play a song. So Jose G on YouTube is asking me, what was the reason for putting out Living in Oblivion MCM XCVI? And why is it called that mix? That's just the 1996, done in Roman numerals version of it. To be honest, it was one of those things that was suggested. As you know, like, I'm not the only person that's ever done this. New Order's done this a bunch of times where they re-record a track and re-release it. And there was this mix we were kind of playing around with, being a sort of like house mix. And we thought it might be cool to like play that out live. And then, obviously playing that out live and then people not knowing it is not good. So we thought, we're on a new record company. They want a single. Let's bring something back that everybody, can do. And the re-recording aspect of the song had been lifted, because there's this like stipulation that you can't record the same song once you're signed for X amount of years. We had passed that point so that we were able to re-record it. Although they still get the royalties on it, so. Haha, that's so funny. That's a good question, Lalo. That's a very good question, and I will answer that question when we come back. So I am going to play a song. Let's see. We played Atlantis. What was the other one I had? Oh, there was this one. So I was going to play this remix. So this was on Mixology and or the Dance CD5, one of the two. You can tell me. But I ran across it today, and I don't know, for whatever reason, this is one of the ones I thought was a good one for tonight. You'll probably know which song I'm talking about. But if you don't, here it is.
So you see, my love, don't you suffer, don't you worry anymore.
Whoa. So, some good questions there. So, I'm going to answer these questions, all of them. So, the first one came from Lalo, and I promised I would answer the question. So, what are the specs of the computer? So, I want you to consider something that's interesting about this very computer that I'm using right now. It's playing back all the audio. Interwebs don't count, by the way, because that's a different story. But the computer itself is humming along, and it's playing back audio. And as you know, it's played back audio off of Ableton while I'm on the cameras. It's running 3 cameras because I was checking to see the other one was on. Sometimes 4 cameras. It's running not 1, but 2 sound cards. One is the one that I'm speaking through that's processing all the audio. And there's another card that's being fed in, that all this audio is being fed into from my mixing board, which is the streaming card. All of this is being done on a computer, a tower that's from 2004 or 5, running Windows 7. Can you believe that? You probably don't believe that, but it's true. It's a monstrosity of a computer. There is actually 4 hard drives in this computer, 2 of which are built into, they're like these things called, I think they're called M drives. They're built into my motherboard. So there's 2 of those. And then the rest of them are like, terabytes or whatever. And, there's one for sounds, there's one for software, there's one that I, use only for recording and mixing and whatnot. And then one that I use for video. And all of that is in my one computer, which I built. I built that MF. So it's spec'd out basically to the point where, it's maxed out as far as this computer can go. It's maxed. I have no qualms with it whatsoever. In fact, I was having this conversation with Paul the other day, in that it's never asking me for updates. It's never interrupting my work. The software does that, and it annoys me when it does that. But the computer itself purrs along. I thought I was having a problem with it a while back, and it turned out to be just dust. So as far as my computer is concerned, it's old, ancient, alien stuff because it's inaccessible to most, meaning it's existing outside of the current system of things. Nothing gets in that I don't want in on this computer, which is good. I do have a Windows laptop, which is one of those crazy ones that's got, 64 gigs of RAM. It's got a nice drive in it. But I don't trust it. I can't trust it. I can't even trust it to do the stream. That's how crazy that is. And then I have a little MacBook Air, which is really old. And that one is the only one that I'll take on the road. Which is, if you've seen me on the road, that's the one I take on the road with me. I trust that one implicitly. And if it ever goes down, I will own another old one. I'm not liking some of the newer computers. They overheat too easily, and they're constantly, clickety clack doing stuff in the background. And I hate that. It just bugs the crap out of me because it takes me out of my zone. So I hope that answers that question. But yes, this is an old computer running all this stuff. And you know what? It does so without any issue. The only thing that has an issue in this house is the internet. But I think everyone in Long Beach has internet issues because we're by the sea. There's, it's never quite perfect. But all said and done, it's pretty darn, pretty darn good. Okay, so that was the computer question. Punch cards. My. So this was a good one. Um, Thank you for this one, Steve, because I know you know me, but even I don't think you've ever really asked me this question before. But says, I see your artwork graces the cover of the new Eloquent CD, which it does. You should put a link to it if you have a link for it. Um, when you do a painting or art piece, does the thought ever strike you that would make a great album cover, or does that realization come more gradually? Um, it's a complex question. Um, Sometimes if I'm doing something, um, an entire song will come out of a piece of work. Um, because for me, like they're so intertwined that anything could be a cover of an album. It's just what album. So like I might do something crazy and then, you know, whatever song I had in my head, that's the cover for that single that may never come out, but whatever that is, that's going to be the cover for it, you know? But yeah, there's been times where people say, well, that would make a great album cover or something. And I'm like, I don't see it, but if they see it, that's fine. In the case of Eloquent, um, there were these limited edition drawings that I had done for the Distances album, which I have to find all the high res files, by the way, because I did scan them. And I need to find those because I want to mint all of them. But there was these limited edition drawings, and I would send them to people when they ordered the album. And they liked one of them a lot. And they said, we want to use this one as the cover for, our record. And it was like such an honor. So obviously, yes, And I do believe they picked it out. I don't think I even picked it. I think I gave them some suggestions, but I think they picked the one that they thought was the one. So I'm going to scroll down and see if anyone... so there's the link. Let's see if we can find it so we can show it off. There it is. So, yeah. So that's the Eloquent album called Rediscovered. And that is my painting on the cover. So yeah, I was very, very honored by that. So you should check it out anyway. At any rate, it's a great, great record. So they basically, I think this is the one where they went and did all these different covers. But I could be wrong. I might be thinking of a different one that they did where they did all the covers, but I'm pretty sure it was this one. But yeah. Oh yeah, this is the one. Yeah. Oh yeah. And even Every Single Day's on it, which I just played. No, that didn't sound contrived at all. But it's not. It's not, honestly. Tim is asking a percentage of sales. Not sure what that question means, but we will see what that means. You must clarify that one, Tim. But JP Knights on Twitch is asking me a question. How many lyric books do you have, or do you use your computer or phone to draft your lyrics? Usually I will record a rough draft of something straight to the phone or whatever it is, whatever's available. But I do keep a lyric book, and I have a notebook that goes with me everywhere. No matter where I go, it's in my backpack. And its purpose is to, of course, write down ideas for words, but sometimes it's to journal. I've tried to have like dedicated lyric books. They don't work because I'll wind up writing stuff on everything, so it doesn't matter. It's whatever's handy. The lyrics won't make it to the computer until I'm ready to record, because by then I want to make sure I can read my own chicken scratch. So I'll, type them out nicely and have them in front of me so that I don't have to like squint and say, what the heck did I try to write? So that kind of thing. So Tim is asking me, do you get money when people use your art for their album covers? It depends. If they commission me for it, yes. In other cases, no. There's been certain situations where, yes, I got paid. And then there's certain situations where it's like, no big deal. Or it depends. Like if, I don't know, if Radiohead came around and said, hey, we want to use this painting, can we? I probably would charge them because I know they have the money. But if I'm laughing, but it's true. But if it was like an unknown band and they're like, we really love this and we want to use this particular piece, I'd be like, well, just buy the NFT and yeah, whatever, so it all depends. Thank you for that, JP. We're all waiting for your A-Box book. Man, I'm still struggling with this whole thing. Well, this is where the EP stuff comes in and gets complicated. So I'm going to play a song. And by the way, the last one I think was Every Single Day, the remix. So here's an example. So what a segue. You would almost think I planned this, but I didn't. So here's an example of I've got a lyric idea and I don't know how to get this lyric idea down quick enough. And I have like a music idea and the only thing available was a cheap Casio that I used to have in the studio. So this song, or part of a song, is all done with a Casio right in the room, and I just turned the recorder on and I got this little bit, and for whatever reason, this wound up on one of the sharewares or something, and I've always liked it, so who knows, maybe I'll work on it again, but if not, this version exists for life as a Casio thing. Anyway, I'll play it. It's very short, and then I'll come back. Can't believe I'm going to play this. Yeah. So those are the things you can do with a Casio. But I will say this. In the last bit, the Casio having that little extra bit of chord change capability gave me an idea at the end that I wouldn't have gotten if I had just sequenced it. So sometimes I will employ oddball pieces of gear in the hopes that it'll take me into a different direction. So that answers your lyric question. So no, they're not all written in books. Sometimes they're just in some weird random recording that I have with a Casio. And then I'll have to go back and listen and, restructure that song or something if it ever happens. Or I just wind up keeping it like the way it is forever and it never changes. I don't know. It's a strange thing. What can I tell you? So, at any rate, let's see what your questions are. Cause it's going. Well, I did this. One of my favorite pieces of gear. Well, I shouldn't say my favorite pieces of gear because it actually happens to belong to Steve. I'm just the lucky recipient who hasn't given it back to him yet. Is I have this old sampler, this Yamaha sampler, which is like my favorite sampler in the whole world. And I think I've told this story before, but I tried circuit bending it, and woe and behold, there's a whole schematic of the thing online, and it says, whatever you do, do not touch this chip or try to circuit bend from this particular point on this thing. And of course, that was the first place I went because I hadn't read that, and I burned mine out, which was like a nightmare scenario because I love this piece. And Steve has one, and I've had his for a long time. So I've written stuff on it. So I like cheap, although it's not that cheap anymore. Now these are harder to get, but at any rate, yeah, it's like like Constantino just said, whenever I think of an interesting melody, I hum it to myself and record a note on my phone. Yeah, I don't tend to do that enough with my phone, but Oh, so you want to know what circuit bending is? So Austin on Facebook is asking me about circuit bending. We're gonna get back to that question because that's a good one. That's a really, really good one. And I do a lot of circuit bending. But I have to find a file because I think if I find this file, you will understand. But we'll see. We'll see if I can find a file. Meanwhile, I think, hold on. I'm going to turn on the overhead so you're not watching me click about because it just feels weird when people just watch me do that. At least if you're watching me click about this way, it's not so bad. So I'm looking for a file because someone had wanted to hear something, but I can't remember what the heck it was. Oh, I remember now. Because yeah, you can also like put your requests in for the evening and I will play whatever it is you want to hear. So do I have them? Uh-oh. I don't know. I may not have that. That's crazy. I really thought I had this. We are in trouble, people. I can't find a thing. There's supposed to be a whole bunch of stuff in here, and oh, there it is. Thank God. I'm like, oh my God, the song is missing. I think this was the one that was requested. We shall see. I could be wrong, but at any rate, this is the song I'm playing.
Today I thought the world would end, and I
I don't know what the... Oh, cut off. Why did it cut off? Wasn't supposed to cut off. I don't know why that happened. Oh, I know why. Because it's from the CD, and it does cut off because it goes into the next song. Crap. So, circuit bending. We're going to answer that question first. And by the way, hi Vic20, hi 7Red7, hi Farmacia. It's nice when I have other bands on the stream. I love it. I just love it. So circuit bending. So to explain it doesn't do it justice, but here we go. Circuit bending is when you take any toy, radio, whatever it is that makes sound, and you go in, and while it's on, which is dangerous, I've actually played the dangerous game. Don't do it the way I do it because it's very dangerous the way I do it. But battery-powered toys. Oops, sorry about that. 7Red7. Ooh, sorry. I meant, yeah, you know why? Because he used to have that he used to have a handle that looked like